Ladies and gentlemen, welcome again to the Straub Bro Sports Show. I am Ken Straub, and I am happy to be here with you today. I got a special shirt on today. I'm going to lean in real close so you can see the flamingos. That's a special shirt on. Shout out to our uncle and to my cousin Josh and Keegan watching. As you see, I'm solo again today. Little bro is wrapping up finals literally as we speak. Okay, he's taking the last one today, so we giving them all the shout out. Hi, Mama. Mama's always here. Mama's the first ones here. So as you see, we love you, bro. You got this. This other week shout out is very easy. We're gonna get to that later. But go Army, beat Navy. That's what we do around here. Just like last week, and I apologize because I'm getting us situated on all the social media platforms. Make sure you are checking into the comments this week because, like I said, I want to talk to you while I'm talking to you. That's basically what it comes down to. So 216 Sports Network, that's where you're here. That's where you're watching me. That's where you're finding us. All of us. Me, Mel, Ronnie, Jason, Rico, and little brother Drew. The 500th episode of the Sports Minute has dropped. I was a part of it. Blessed. Shout out to Rico. Go check that out. Jason was on it. Rico had a bunch of guests. It was a great show. It was a great put together. Please go check that out. The first episode of Crunch Time with Ken and Mel is coming very soon. Check that. Look out for that. And the wrestling pod has been greenlit. That's coming soon. I'm not going to spoil any of that. I'm going to let Mel get to that. Tomorrow at this time, please come back to the Facebook page. Come back to the YouTube page. Join in with us. Me and Mel will be interviewing Arena Football League legend Aaron Garcia. It's going to be a good time. It's going to be a time. Mama, I promise you, we are going to talk about it, and I've got a special guest to talk about it with me. And as always, of course, Pops, you already know. First thing we're going to do is get to the news. I'm going to put the news up there for you to see, while I also let everybody know that we are live and to check us out. So as you see out there, we got some news this week. First things first. I mean, come on. I'm a little upset because my glasses still haven't arrived. Coach Prime, we're giving you all this love on the pot, and my glasses still aren't here yet. But Colorado head coach Deion Sanders named Sports Illustrated Sports Person of the Year. Of course, Prime is. So that's a big one. Caleb Williams has announced that he will be sitting out USC's bowl game. That's a no-brainer for me. I think he's just the first one of many that will do that. I don't see Marvin Harrison Jr. going into the bowl game if he goes pro. I don't see a lot of the kids from Georgia. A lot of guys are not going to play, and that's okay. I'm sorry. I get over it. I'm sorry they don't want to go eat Cheez-Its on the sideline and play in some bowl at 3 o'clock in the afternoon that you're not watching. So I got no problem there. What else we got? Oh, New Mexico has hired Bronco Mendenhall as their head coach. So some other moves going on there. The transfer portal starting to heat up. OSU, you're in there. Former quarterback Kyle McCord, as we can call him, he has entered the transfer portal. Georgia backup Brock Vandagriff is visiting Kentucky as he has entered the transfer portal, as it is being assumed and rumored that Carson Beck will be returning to Georgia. No room for him there. And former Oklahoma quarterback Dylan Gabriel, whose card I just got in the mail, shout out to that, would be visiting Oregon. That's a big one. As he jumps into the transfer portal himself. We've got some official transfers as Tyler Show is going to Louisville. And these are not done deals, but they're pretty much rumored to be locks. That would be Cam Ward, formerly of Washington State, heading to the Ohio State University. Man, some guy told you last week to just turn around and reload, and look at that. And it is already being rumored that Riley Leonard of Duke is headed to Notre Dame, as most teams did not even, and this is so weird to say, did not even attempt to make a bid on him because they were assuming that that is already going to happen. Stories. Got to hit the share button. You guys know how it goes. All right. So that's our news and that's our notes. Now, relax, everybody. We're going to break tradition today. Now, normally, if you've been rocking with us, we're on episode 10 officially today, which shout out to me and bro. Episode 10 of the Straub Bro Sports Show. You know that as soon as we get done with our news or as soon as we get done with that opening, we head into the top 6. Not today. You're going to have to wait. Okay. I'm sorry. I'm going to do what the radio does. I'm going to do it. A little teaser. Just hold on. We're going to talk about it. We are not going to miss this topic. It's the biggest thing going right now. However, one of the things, and listen, I've only been talking about it. And when I started to do my outline, something stuck out to me, and it's why I'm doing this the way I'm doing it today. And that is all of the conference champions that weren't in the playoff discussion, basically Florida State, Texas, and Alabama, they all got pushed off to the side and ignored. Like they didn't win a conference championship. Like what they did on the field wasn't important. So first things first, we're gonna do our championship ride first, because we're gonna give out some roses and we're gonna give out some love, okay? And we're gonna crown some winners in the process. Okay, so that's the first thing we're gonna do. The second thing that we're gonna do is we're gonna hold off as I hit the YouTube page, so I can hit this little button so I can share this to Snapchat. Listen, you got to have everything covered. You guys know how this goes. Okay. Story. Boom. All right. So, conference championship ride. Our first game on the slate. Let's put it up there. The Mountain West Championship went to Boise State as they beat UNLV 44-20. Congrats to the Broncos of Boise State for taking home the Mountain West title. Interim coach Spencer Danielson, who was only hired with 2 games left in the regular season, leads the Broncos to their 5th Mountain West title. Taylon Green, 226 yards, 2 touchdowns. Aston Ginty, 153, 1 touchdown. Come on now. Hopefully Danielson will get the job. All his players vouched for him. They all wanted him to be there. They went to the ADs and went and got their guy. A similar situation happened at Notre Dame when Brian Kelly got on the plane and went to LSU and let everybody know that he was out. The seniors and the other kids on that team went, and the kids who were being recruited tweeted that they want Coach Freeman to be the coach. Coach Freeman is the coach. The rest is history. National championship coming. So, Boise State, give Danielson the job. Give the guy a chance. Let's keep it moving. We're going to go to, I'm out of order myself. That's okay. The Conference USA Championship. Liberty took down New Mexico State 49-35. Caden Salters had a big day here. 319 yards, 2 touchdowns passing, 165 yards rushing, and rushing on the ground and a touchdown. The man put in 2 shifts. Okay? The man put in 2 shifts. Okay, a great back and forth game. New Mexico State's talented quarterback, Diego Pavaya, who didn't practice all week leading up to the game because of a shoulder injury, still lit it up for 3 touchdowns and 1 rushing before he was forced out in the 3rd quarter with his shoulder injury. This is a favorite. This is great. New Mexico State backup, Blaze Berlowitz. What a name. What a name. He'd come in relief and throw 1 touchdown and an interception. Both teams, like I said, they would exchange touchdowns all over, and they did. Liberty would take a 35-21 lead, and Pavaya would throw a 75-yard bomb the next play. Liberty would miss a field goal, and Blaze would throw a touchdown, lock this thing up. Liberty would score and then pick off Blaze in the end zone and add another touchdown later on to finish off the Aggies. Some numbers. Trent Hudson, 112, 2 touchdowns for New Mexico State. Liberty, we have talked all year about this Liberty team's running ability. 393 yards on the ground. Come on. CJ Daniels, 157, 1 touchdown receiving. Liberty, first team in the state of Virginia to win 13 games. Big ups to you. 9th conference title in school history, first on the FBS level. And Liberty, what is your prize? Oregon. Hey, you want to be there? You want to prove you with the big boys? I love this. I hope they give Oregon a game. Oregon will absolutely have guys sitting out. Liberty way less likely. We'll see what happens. Moving on. Sorry. Here we go. Sun Belt Championship game. Went to Troy. 49-23 over Appalachian State. Basically, here's where this came down to. 28 fourth quarter points was the difference between Troy and App State, giving Troy back-to-back Sun Belt Championship and avenging last year's Hail Mary play win by App State. Quick side note, last year, College game day went to Appalachian State. They went to Boone. It was amazing atmosphere, great backdrop. Basically kind of similar to what Kentucky's was, or to Colorado's was when game day went to Colorado this year. Just this beautiful black backdrop. Obviously not as many mountains, but still, they were there. They faced Troy. They were down late, no time left. Appalachian State does what Appalachian State does, throws a Hail Mary, upset, win. Troy said, nah, not going to happen this year. Okay. Kamani Vidal, 27 carries, 233 yards, and a school record 5 tutties in this one. An App State fumble return would get them back into the game, but a fumble of their own would cost them in the second half. Troy, since entering the Sun Belt in 2004, 4 co-championships and 4 outright titles. Lost sound. Let me make sure. Can everybody still hear me? Check on myself. But this game, big time stuff there. Okay. The Straub Bro Sports Show. Welcome. All right. Okay. Welcome. Like I said, my bad. Troy, 4 co-titles, 4 outright titles since they've joined. I mean, great stuff there. Let's move on. The AAC championship game. And check in with me as long as you can still hear me. Make sure. The AAC championship game. As you see, we will throw that up. SMU 26, Tulane 14. Another, and I mean, of course, I'm gonna give us the DAP for this. Hello, another Straub Bro Sports Show upset. Another upset pick that we got right. Sorry, everybody. Pops, you threw me off when you said you couldn't hear me. Everybody else can hear me. You threw me out of there. AAC championship game, SMU 26, Tulane 14. Like I just said, the Straub Bro Sports Show upset pick that we knocked out of the park. Okay. Now, scoring wasn't as high as I thought it would be. Okay. Because I did tell you to take the over here. Okay. I'll dap myself down on that one. Don't worry. All right. But this was still a good game. Tulane took an early lead, but SMU would take it over early and keep it late. The first half, 2 first half Mustang touchdowns would lead them to a 14-7 halftime lead. Then Colin Rogers. Let's talk about it. Second half, 4 of them. Second half field goals would take care of the green wave. SMU's defense sacked Tulane's Michael Pratt 7 times and only allowed 2 third down conversions. SMU's, I told you what this would mean to SMU. First league title since 1984. SMU, the only school to be given the death penalty. They barely recovered. Now they win their first AAC title on top, leave, and head out to the ACC. Shout out to SMU. It was a great scene. They were absolutely up for it. It was a good time there. Okay. Moving around the country, let's come on home to the MAC. The MAC championship. That would be Miami of Ohio 23, Toledo 14. The Red Hawks would jump out to a 10-0 lead before the Rockets score right just before halftime. A 4-play, 75-yard drive capped off by a 3-yard Daquan Finn touchdown would give Toledo its only lead, but that would not be enough. Graham Nicholson will regain the lead for Miami of Ohio, and Nicholson with his 3rd field goal of the game. He is a Lou Groza Award finalist for the nation's top place kicker. I mean, the kid's good. Rashad Amos would punch in his 2nd touchdown of the game. Some other numbers. Avion Smith, 208 combined yards. Toledo's Daquan Finn, 273, 1 touchdown throwing, 1 rushing. Miami of Ohio. Let's give them some love. Their second MAC championship since 2019 and their fourth all time. Miami running it, just not the U. Miami of Ohio, baby. So shout out to them. Now, we talked about SMU making that jump from the AC to the ACC. So let's talk about it. Just the game. Okay? Everyone calm down. That would be Florida State and Louisville. Florida State 6. Florida State 16. Louisville 6. A bittersweet conference championship game for Florida State, obviously. 5 field goals, 1 touchdown in this game total. Just saying. Lawrence Toefili, 118, 1 touchdown. That was your difference maker. Absolutely. Florida State freshman Brock Glenn. You can't drive. 55. That's how many passing yards he had. 55. The defense, which I said would be the key, was the key. Once again, Straub Bro Sports Show, locking you in, giving the information that you needed. Sorry about that confusion for a past couple minutes here. I had some stuff going on. All solved. We're good. We're locked in here. I told you last week that the defense would be the key. The defense was the key again. 7 sacks, 1 interception, 0 touchdowns, 14 tackles for loss, 10 pass breakaways, 2 field goals given up, 188 total yards is all they gave up. Florida State, props to your defense. Wasn't enough. Sorry. But shout out to you for winning it. Louisville, disappointing. Excuse me. Yes, Florida State's defense was lights out. They played great, but I expected better from Louisville. Not a great game. Let's move on. You see it up there. Our guys. Not our guys, but our guys. Michigan, 26, Iowa 20. Michigan covered the spread. Yeah. Thank you, Big Ten, for doing away with divisions next year. Hopefully, we'll get a better matchup. Basically, hopefully, Iowa never gets to play in the Big Ten championship until they get an offense. So, yeah. Michigan jumped out to a 10-0 lead early in the first quarter and then just jumped off from there. It was a physical game, as we all knew it would be, because, I mean, that's what it is. 213 total yards for Michigan, 155 for Iowa. Iowa's issue all year has been, and it came to get them again, they can't score, period. They can't score. So, I mean, I thought they'd get more than 0, but both teams under 200 passing yards. I know Michigan was in if they won, and Iowa's defense is great, but this is going to get you smoked by Nick Saban in Alabama, Michigan. I'm just giving you the heads up now. This will get you smoked. 3 Big Ten titles in a row for Michigan. Go Blue. Harbaugh, the first head coach to win 3 Big Ten championships in a row. I mean, you got to give the man his due, period. End of story. All right. We'll start to get to the controversial ones. The Big 12 championship. Texas 49, Oklahoma State 21. When I tell you that Texas made a statement, man, did they make a statement. 35 first half points. Too much for Oklahoma State to handle. Quinn Ewers, career high, 452, 4 touchdowns in the first half. Yeah. 2 wide receivers went over 100 yards for Texas. Adonai Mitchell and Jatavion Sanders. Texas, 662 total yards. Yeah. Held Oklahoma State's and the nation's leading rusher, Ollie Gordon, last week's Straub Bro of the week, to 35 yards. 34. Sorry, I gave you an extra yard, Ollie. 34 yards. Alex Bowman at 250 and 3 touchdowns, but most of that was kind of in garbage time. And in terms of garbage time, I mean, always way too far behind. That is your 4th Big 12 title for Texas. Hook 'em horns. And your first since 2009. Texas, you're back, baby. Listen, you were listening. I know what's on in the weight room, Texas. I know you got the Straub Bro Sports Show on. I know you're listening to me. I know I don't think you're back. I don't want to hear it. Be back then. Be back. You're back. And you're in. So I don't want to hear no more. Go be back then. Let's move on to once again, these 2 teams putting it on. The Pac-12 championship game. Oregon 31, Washington 34. I don't think, and I tried to do some research on this, but it just in terms of excitement and in terms of entertainment value, because I'm not talking 10-7, I'm not talking two Big Ten teams meeting 2 times in a row. I don't think we've had many teams deliver 2 games in a season as good as these two have. I'm just going to be honest with you, okay? Michael Penix Jr. responds, 319 and a touchdown. Here's the theme of the championship week. The key to the game, as I told you it would be, being honest, not to be cocky, just so that when you check in and you listen, you go, who is this fool with his bald head and his big beard and his Jose Ramirez thing in the background, getting on here every Wednesday and Thursday telling me what to do? Listen, hear me out. Because once again, I told you what the key was. Dylan Johnson, and he was 28 carries, 152 yards, 2 touchdowns. That was it. That was what the key was. A quick 10-0 lead, Washington would punch out, would turn into a 20-3 lead before a late second half touchdown for Oregon would cut the lead to 10. Oregon would then go 15 plays, 75 yards, and score. Both teams would then exchange picks and touchdowns and the lead. But a late punt from Oregon would allow Washington to push the lead back up to 10. And while Oregon would score again late and make it a 3-point game, 2 huge third down plays, one from Michael Penix to Jalen McMillan, and then a Dylan Johnson 8 and 18-yard run would give them the first downs, ice the clock, and ice Oregon's season and get the Huskies into the college football playoff, locking up a spot with Michigan. We knew Michigan was in. We knew Washington was in with a win, but let's give some love. Bo Nix, 239, 3 touchdowns. The running game did not come through for Bo Nix in Oregon. He was your leading rusher with 69 yards. Insert Rob Gronkowski joke here. Jordan James and Bucky Irvin combined for 55 yards. Bo Nix, 69. His 2 running backs, 55 combined. Not good. Washington versus Texas. Now, let's talk. One last one to go. The SEC championship game. Alabama, just like I said, roll tide. Alabama 27, Georgia 24. Nick Saban and Jalen Milroe finally break the Bulldogs' 29-game winning streak and make a statement to the CFP that they belong in the playoffs. I know. Listen, I know. I already know that this is controversial and all of this. We'll get there. Georgia would take an early lead as Carson Beck drove them down the field, and Kendall Milton would finish it off with a 17-yard touchdown run. I need a drink. If you're asking, yes, I'm triple fisting. There's 3 different drinks, not all non-alcoholic. Bama would then roll 14 unanswered points with a 10-play, 92-yard drive and a 9-play, 69-yard one as well. Another Rob Gronkowski joke. Both teams would exchange some good field goals, and some good defense. Lock it in there. But Georgia would cut the lead to 3 before Milroe, and Alabama would answer again to keep that lead out. Georgia would strike right back, get the game within 3 one last time with 2 minutes left. But 2 great and clutch first down runs would seal it for the Tide and the SEC championship. Excuse me. Nick Saban, 3-0 against Kirby Smart in the SEC championship game. Alabama defense held Georgia to 78 rushing yards, their lowest total since 2020 when they faced my little bro, Cincinnati Bearcats, which he will tell you this great tale about how they almost won this game, blah, 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 blah. We were so good. Desmond Ridder, Sauce Gardner was good. You're not here, little bro. Don't want to hear it this week. Sorry. Is what it is. So that is your championship week. It was a great week of football. Shout out to all those kids. Shout out to all the guys who were able to hoist that trophy. Shout out to all the guys who didn't and now are coming back next year hungrier for that championship because you guys deserve it as well. I am letting our special guests know that they can join into the lobby so I can get them in here at some point so we can talk about this top 6, top 4 situation. But in the meantime, going to move some stuff out of our way. We're going to get this down. You know where we're going, everybody. Head slaps and chest pumps. You know it. We gotta be honest, and we have to tell the truth. That's what it is. So we're gonna give out them head slaps first. Toledo and Iowa covers. I'm sorry. Next year I will learn on anything with this Iowa cover, but we were not far away. If Iowa could have just put up anything, but we would have whatever. Oh, I'm sorry, not the over on, but the cover. But come on, Iowa. Come on, Iowa. Okay. Toledo. Sorry about that one. We were close. That game turned out to be a great defensive MAC battle. Absolutely loved it. Oregon. Whew. I was just flat out wrong. I'll put my hand up. All right. The whole rundown, I gave you all these reasons last week that I told you would be the key to the game and ended up being the key to the game. And when I tell you I was wrong on one, I'm gonna be honest. I was flat out wrong on this one. Yeah. Not by a lot, though. Just for the record, not by a lot. The Pac-12 over was 65 and a half. It was 65 total points scored. Yeah, 1-800-GAMBLER. That one hurt. Now let's pump the chest. The Sun Belt, the Mountain West, the Conference USA, the Big 12, all those overs hit. You're welcome. You're welcome. Q Shane McMahon. Money, 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 money. Okay. SMU, Liberty, and Texas. I told you all of those teams would win, especially that SMU one. I want credit for that. Thank you. Liberty, kind of, New Mexico State was punchy. Texas, I mean, come on. I told you SFU would stumble. Well, listen, save your hot takes for somebody else. Alabama, and the ultimate dapping credit here. On September 1st, and I've got receipts, I made a prediction before any of the games started, and I said that Alabama would get in to the college football playoff with one loss, and Texas would be there too. Ladies and gentlemen, the Straub Bro Sports Show, we bring you accurate, we bring you that good stuff, okay? Absolutely. Sorry. And I also said more DAP. I also said a non-traditional power, and I listed these two teams, like Oregon or Washington would get in as well, and who was right on the verge of getting in, Oregon, and who got in, Washington. So preseason, ladies and gentlemen, okay, preseason, this guy right here put it together for you 3 to 4. Now, my fourth team was USC. Okay, so hey, I'm not perfect. Does that play into the betting that I did throughout the year? No, but I did think USC would be good enough to make it. I thought Caleb Williams would be flirting with 2 Heismans, all of that. I was a little wrong. I was a little wrong. Okay, but what do you want from me? Okay, now, if you weren't riled up before, your honorary Straub Bro of the week. Well, let's see how we're going to do this one. So it's going to piss you all off because I have 2. But in order for me to talk about the second honorary Straub Bro of the week, I have to bring in the first honorary Straub Bro of the week. Ladies and gentlemen, live off of absolutely taking his foot and putting it absolutely up every single UC's finals butt. Little bro himself, Andrew Straub, welcome in, baby. Forget all these people are here. Forget all these cameras is on. I love you. I hope it went well. I know you whooped his ass. I don't even need to ask. I just hide your beer off camera. You deserve it. You have absolutely earned this. I'm so proud of you. I told you at the beginning of the week to knock this out like only you can. We've been running your banner. I've been giving you all the love that we possibly can. I've been also leaving you the hell alone, which has been difficult as hell because we talk every day and I run show stuff by each other every single day. So it's been tough. Hey, mama says, hey, sweetie. So your first honorary Straub Bro of the week, this man right here, Andrew Straub. Welcome in. Now you're here. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, you're good. Listen, it's been a very long week and a half of studying, but listen, it all makes it worth it when you get to do stuff like this at the end of it. So I'm glad to be back, and I'm happy to do what we do.
We missed you. And the worst part is I'm way more prepared this week and calmer to do it by myself. And now I got my crutch back. So here we go. First of all, shout out to that shirt. Yeah, shout out to that shirt. That was my shirt. I don't fit in that shirt. You fit in that shirt. But all right. So Straub's here to talk college football playoffs. Why? Because the rankings were crazy and his brother is going to piss him off. Your honorary Straub Bro of the week is the College Football Playoff Committee. Why? For doing what needed to be done and giving us the 4 best teams right now to play in the national semifinal. We will get my stuff the hell out of the way, okay? And let's get right to it. Boom. We're going to put it up there. We're going to put it like this. Oh, like this. Wait. One more. Help me, bro. Help me, Tom Cruise. I'm all over the place. There we go. See what happens? You come in and you fumble me up. All right. Here's your top 4 teams. You all know it by now. Michigan, Washington, Texas, and Alabama. Okay? Now, all right, do you want to go first? Yeah, I will let you go first because you speak on behalf of most of America and some people, you, Ronnie, Booger McFarland, Greeny, and Dominique Foxworth. Lead the charge. The floor is yours. I get to take a breath. Love you.
Give this to me because, listen, this distracted me halfway through the night that I was supposed to study for my final at 8 a.m. because I was so pissed about this. So, and listen, I didn't even have to do research for this because it took me 5 minutes to make an argument. You look at strength of schedule, strength of record, they're about even. Let's talk Florida State, Alabama, Texas, because those are the 3 that I think everyone wants to move around and put in spots. You put those 3, strength of record, strength of schedule, pretty much the same. All conference champions, all have signature wins. So what do you think could possibly separate these 3 teams? Maybe it's the fact that one hasn't lost all year in a Power 5 conference and the other 2 have. It blows my mind that this is, again, telling the College Football Playoff Committee, telling teams that they have to be basically more than perfect if they want to get included over an SEC team. Because, listen, they can't just go undefeated. You can't just win your conference championship. You can't prove you can win multiple games without your star quarterback, one against a rival and one in a conference championship game. You have to be perfectly healthy throughout the entirety of the season and have no losses to any of their players. Like Texas lost their star running back for the year, but that doesn't affect that they went 3rd at all. It just boggles my mind that you have this team that did everything that you could possibly do and a defense that stepped up when their offense was struggling a little to get used to a completely different quarterback and a completely different system because you have to put it in. It boggles my mind that you have to do so much to even have a chance to overtake an SEC team in the college football playoff rankings. Go on. Give me your, Alabama was the best team the last 7 weeks of the year. Come on. Whatever. Thank you.
I mean, A lot of people are with you. But let me tell you why you're all wrong. As only I can do well. So, and I'm glad because just so everybody knows, only 20 minutes before the show started did I know that Straub was actually jumping in. Okay. We have not talked. I have been just doing nothing but sending motivational messages. He sent me Americans Abroad, which I didn't even save. So congratulations. You get to do your own segment today.
Awesome.
I'll send it back to you if you need me to, so you can read it. But so the best part is you hit some of the points that I'm going to hit because I mean, we're brothers. Okay. So first of all, let's just get this out of here. Well, Texas, and they still look great. So they'll get the Troy Benson injury out. Okay, yes, Texas lost its running back and then ran all over everyone. Okay, so I don't want to hear that. Get that out of here. The committee got it right. So let's start with one thing that I want to knock out of the park. All of you are complaining because people, okay, because people are not picking the teams you wanted when you had a computer do it, which is all of what you all are using, which is the computer's numbers. When the computer did it, we didn't like it because there was no human element and there was no coaches in the room. There were no ex-players. That's what all of you were too young. That's what all of you said when the bleeping BCS was the one who was doing it. And I'm just going to say it. When the fucking BCS was the one doing it, all of you complained that the computer was too much. You needed the human element. And now they gave you too much human element and you don't like it now. Too bad. There are ex-coaches in that room. There are ex-players in that room. And people who watch more college football than me, which the people in this house will tell you that they did not think that was humanly possible. Okay? So I don't want to hear it. Now, as you were aware, okay, there were 6 to 7 teams that deserved a shot to get into this playoffs. Okay? Legit. There were 6 teams. And I'm going to be checking. Oh, hey now. I'm sorry. Mel is wrong, but that's okay.
Yeah.
That's okay. Now, like I said, 6 to 7 teams. Michigan and Washington, clear. Everybody agrees. Texas, most everybody agrees. Okay? But in terms of deserving, because this is what all of you like to keep bringing up when you say Florida State, deserving. Well, Bama deserved it. Florida State deserved it. Georgia deserved it. Ohio State deserved it. So if you want to talk about deserved it, all of those teams were either undefeated or had one loss to someone else sitting either in that other top 4 or someone right underneath. Because Texas did lose to Oklahoma. I give you that. But they also have the win over Alabama. And they won their conference championship. Okay. Ohio State's only blemish is to the number 1 team in the country. Okay. And here, Oregon's lost 2 games to undefeated Washington. Come on. Now, Florida State is not. I was prepared to do this by myself, so I apologize.
I'm ready to come back whenever. Listen, I have some stuff whenever you're done. Don't worry.
So we'll start there. Do you disagree with me that there were 6 or 7 teams that deserved to get in?
I don't disagree with you. I think they all had a shot.
Okay.
But when you have that many teams that have a shot,
now you've got to start breaking it down from there, right? Okay. Now, FSU is not the same team that they were when they had Jordan Travis. I do not care how mad that makes you. I don't care about the no. Stop right there. It is not about they won the games on the field. Take that out because now we have to break down further. It isn't just about on the field. We've got to narrow these 3 teams down, okay? Now, in the playoff committee, remember, I'm going to remind you all of this because Reese tells you this every week. They break these downs in the top there into groups of 3. The committee told you that Washington, Michigan, Washington, and Texas were clear and above everyone. So, everyone, get Texas out of this conversation. The committee was not talking about Texas when they were weighing between Florida State and Alabama. So leave Texas alone and get them out of here. I believed, considering they were sitting at 7, okay, any other week, Texas would have jumped Florida State, okay, based on the fact that how good they looked, how bad Florida State looked. Well, how can you say that, Ken? Because earlier in the year, Washington jumped Florida State on a week in which they both won. Why? Because Florida State looked like dog shit with Jordan Travis, and Washington lit someone up. Okay? So the committee showed you precedent. Well, how do you... Teams jumped all the time throughout the year, even when they won, and even if they stayed undefeated. Okay? So, that's my... Florida State is not the same team. Period. Okay? One of their criteria that they are allowed to look for is how future matchups would come into play. If you don't like that, that is fine. I don't give a crap about it being your reasoning for Florida State being in. This is what you all signed off on, and me as well, when we said the committee can be there. That means those little things like future potential matchups can come into play. Well, it robbed Florida State, and it helped Ohio State in 2014. Because when Ohio State rolled into a Big Ten championship game with their backup quarterback, I will scroll down. They won the game, and I can't find my score right now because I'm out of place. Okay? They won. 30, what was it? 36-0, 35-33-0?
55-3, I think it was. It was a
something ridiculous. And what did Ohio State show the committee? That little bottom one, and remember, these are all supposed to be equal. They're not supposed to be weighted separately. That little one of how will a team perform in the future, they took that and they threw that right out. We don't got nothing to do with that. Okay? Ohio State is looking like Ohio State. We're going to think about Ohio State as Ohio State. Florida State went out and threw for 55 bleeping yards. Okay? And they barely beat a Florida team that's not any good. Okay? I'm sorry, I found it. 59-0, Ohio State won that game. If Florida State would have gone out and beat the living daylights out of Louisville, we are not having this conversation, everybody. Florida State is in, and there's no question about it. But when you roll in there and all of a sudden you look like Duke without a quarterback and you look like Wake Forest with their quarterback out there, I'm sorry. I agree. Okay? Now, you want to rebuttal some of that? Go ahead.
Yeah, I got some small points. That's all. So you said early on that Texas still looks good without Jonathan Brooks, right? First week that they did not have Jonathan Brooks, and Ewers was there. He came back from injury, so it's not like they didn't have him either. They had 21 rushing yards and had to pull away late to beat a 6-5 Iowa State team.
That was the first week?
The first week that they were gone. They were out.
Do you have the stats for the second week?
Yeah, they blew out Texas Tech. Congratulations. But what I'm saying is you have to give a team time to adapt to losing a star player.
I gave you 2 weeks.
Yeah, and you can give them a month before the next game.
It wouldn't have mattered.
Yes, okay, that's a good disagree there. That would have mattered. Second point. You said that the College Football Playoff Committee made a precedent by saying it's not a big deal if you are still undefeated or if you are previously higher. If you play worse than the person below you, they will jump you.
Okay.
However, that's only happened when both teams were the same record. This was the first time I've seen it where a team that has had a loss already has jumped an undefeated team, unless they're in a group of 5, because then that's different, and they really hit on the strength of schedule in those. Trust me, I know. I was there for 2 years. You know how that works. However, when you look at both Power 5 conference teams, if one is having a better season, is undefeated, and one has a loss, I have never seen one jump a team like that.
So I'm going to address those points. Okay. So point number 1, I've never seen the committee do this. there are new people on this committee. This is not the same committee. So that's an argument that keeps being said that I'm sorry, I can ball that up and I can immediately throw that away because it's trash. You're holding this committee with new people to standards of a committee that they weren't on. And they have never been told, at least, and it's never been reported, that part of their rules has been follow what the committee before you has done. Nobody has ever said that. They've said pick the 4 best teams. So I'm just saying, hey,
no, I wasn't given that.
I'm just saying the whole this has never happened precedent. Well, yeah, it's going to be precedent when these guys are new. They're doing their own thing. Now, I also want to point out they were in the same room watching all these conference championship games together, and they all looked up and said, that team's not good. That team is struggling. And here's the other thing. They said that team is as good as Louisville. And there ain't a damn person in that committee room, and there ain't a damn person in the committee that would put Louisville in the top 4 and think that they could compete with those teams. And that committee said that team is as good as Louisville. Now, I'm not done because I'm going to keep going. Here's the other thing that gets brought up, okay? Because Paul Feinbaum brought this up, and everybody likes to hate on Paul, okay? We were supposed to have a 12-team playoff this year. This year was supposed to be a 12-team playoff, okay? But Texas and Oklahoma decided to join the SEC, okay? The commissioners of the Big Ten, the Pac-12, and the loudest commissioner of them all, the ACC, said, nope, taking my ball, and I'm going home, and we're going to next year. Well, guess what? You screwed your own team out of it, okay? Why? Okay. The ACC also had between 5 and 6 people represented on that committee. Okay. In terms of either gone to school, played for a school. Okay. So get your SEC bias the bleep out of here. Okay. Also, when this thing was created, 4 spots, 5 power conferences, which means no matter what, if everybody wins out, and a top team wins your conference, a conference champion is getting left out no matter what. And here's why I'm okay with it. Because every other year when the Pac-12 was dog crap and they were eating each other alive and the best team in the Pac-12 was 5 or 6 wins, we laughed and we didn't care that they weren't represented in the college football playoffs because teams in the SEC were great. So much so that they were putting 2 teams in, and you had a dominant team called Clemson who was representing the ACC so well that there was never even a question that they were going to be left out because they were rolling everyone, correct? Okay. Yeah. Now, who was that open spot open for? It was open for Notre Dame, who picked it up a couple times, and Ohio State, who picked it up out of the Big Ten. Why was it open between those 2 teams? Because we all knew even back then the Big Ten was dog crap, minus Ohio State. I don't care about your Wisconsins. I don't care about your Iowas, and Michigan wasn't good yet. So basically you had Ohio State, Notre Dame, and then you had the SEC and the ACC. The SEC and Clemson. Okay? We didn't care that Pac-12 teams were being left out. We didn't care that Pac-12 champions were being left out. Why?
They didn't deserve it.
Because we all agreed that not all those championships were created equal. Right? Right?
No, I disagree with you on that. I disagree with you on that.
Your team winning the championship didn't guarantee you a spot, is what I'm saying.
Yes, I agree with that.
Your team winning the championship didn't guarantee you a spot. Why? Because, hey, if your league's not that good, we don't care. If Ohio State would slip up in those years and lose a game, but then go win the Big Ten championship, we wouldn't let them in. We let a Notre Dame in because we went, you know what? Sorry, Big Ten don't carry that clout this year. Okay? The SEC still carries that clout this year. You want to know why? You can count the SEC teams in the top of that damn graphic. Okay? Sorry. Okay? Missouri, Ole Miss, LSU. Okay? Tennessee's in there as well. Okay? So the SEC has teams. Okay? A one-loss SEC team is still great this year. Okay? A one-loss Pac-12 team would have been great this year. Okay? If it was Oregon that had beaten Washington. We all agree. Okay? I'm sorry. an undefeated ACC champion is not a great team this year when you have lost things that have made you special. Okay. Now, if they were still special team with special players and they had won, okay, I'm sorry. Rebuttal. I'm not done.
Listen, I know you're not done. Listen,
I'm breaking you down. I'm breaking you down.
I get what you're getting at. Is you're saying a one-loss Alabama team or a one-loss Georgia team in this season is better on paper than a undefeated conference champion Florida State without Jordan Travis. I get what you're saying, and I get what you mean. However, this is basically saying that if you have a really good team, this is where the quality losses segment kind of comes in, where you can have a great team, but if you're not as good on paper or even like with the eye test of an SEC team, you have no chance of getting in. And that was the argument that Cincinnati made when we made it the year was we did everything we had to do to get in. I'm not saying what we did was great. I'm not saying
Cincinnati got in because on the cusp of being just right there, because if you go look in the final rankings, I'm 5th. I was right behind you. Okay. If anyone,
you know what happened.
Right. The reason you got in is because everyone underneath me and no one underneath me jumped up and beat anyone else above. It was chalk above, so we just slided up and rolled it out, okay? You had a win over the team right underneath you, okay? Let's take those scenarios, because everyone likes to use scenarios that aren't happening this year and use them for this year. If Florida State had a win, okay, over the teams right underneath them, Oregon, Ohio State, Georgia, they would have been in because the committee would have gone, man, they've got wins so good. Okay, we got to give them a chance. They don't. Okay, listen to this. Okay, Florida State is credited with these wins. Okay, Duke and Miami, 5 loss teams. Okay, stop. Frauds, unranked. Okay, a 4-loss Clemson team. Okay. Louisville, who does not look good. Okay. Has not. Okay. They lost to Kentucky. They've lost games. They've lost a lot of games.
That's a rivalry game. I don't want to.
Now, and LSU, number 13. Alabama has wins over LSU. Now, if we want to go head to head, Alabama's win looks better. They have wins over number 11, Ole Miss. They have wins over number 21, Tennessee. And they have, now everyone likes to say that they know which is the best win all year. Everyone likes to say the best win all year is Texas going into Tuscaloosa and beating Alabama. No, the best win all year is Alabama going into the SEC championship game and beating the team that the committee has said, other than 2 weeks, is our number 1 team, the best. Alabama has that win. Alabama, then, their only loss is to the number 3 team in the country. That resume speaks for themselves. Now, the strength of record, go ahead.
Who's then okay, if Alabama has so many good wins, and that, one really, tough loss to a number 3 nation, Florida State must have had a really tough loss as well to really, make this thing. Oh wait, right. They don't have a loss.
Okay, so
they did not lose.
So Liberty's in then, right?
I told you a group of 5 was different, and I stated that beforehand. That group of 5 is different.
Wait. So we all like to acknowledge that not all undefeateds are equal, yet we're mad that we're saying this undefeated isn't equal. I'm sorry. We all know that not all,
because it's a Power 5, man.
But it's not a power. But they're not. They're barely a Power 5 this year.
the gap between the SEC and the ACC is a lot smaller than the ACC, and I don't even know what conference Liberty is in.
First of all, don't you be disrespectful to Liberty.
But what I'm saying is, yes, obviously.
Pause.
Find it. I think it's the
no.
I can't remember. I think it's the Mountain West. I'm not 100% sure.
Conference USA.
Conference USA. I should know that. I was in the conference, and I was in that conference.
You're gonna be disrespectful to winning that Conference USA championship now?
Okay, no, hold on. Yes, obviously the SEC conference is better than the ACC, undoubtedly. However, the SEC conference is not as good of a conference comparative to the ACC than the ACC is to Conference USA.
No, but I think personally, and I think this is what the committee thinks. Okay, so just for the record, I don't copy the committee, but since the inception of the committee, and me and you have known this because everyone gets annoyed with the way that I do this, I like to envision when I rank my teams of what the committee would do. My first rankings had Michigan 1, or Georgia 1, Michigan 2, Ohio State 3. That held truth for majority of the AP poll, and other than Ohio State flipping for a couple weeks, was mostly what they thought, okay? So this is what I think. Yes, the gap between the SEC and the ACC is way smaller than the gap between the ACC and Conference USA. No shit. However,
you can't make the argument.
No, this is my argument, though, and this is what I think the committee thinks. I think the committee thinks that this year the ACC is down so bad and the quality is so bad that in their minds, they said and they thought what all of us were thinking, Florida State better win all their games to get in. We all said that all year. When they were struggling with freaking Duke and they were struggling with Miami, we all said it. Man, they better win out to get in because this conference sucks.
And they did. And they did.
However, you all like to leave out the fact that we all have allowed this entire thing that is not a small rule. It's not a little fine print that we get to pull out when we want. It's an equal part of the pie that says in the future, how will this team match up? We've saw 2 weeks of it. They look like dog shit. They will get rolled by every team in the top 4. Florida State will get rolled by Georgia if Georgia shows up with a team to play with. Florida State would get rolled by LSU. Florida State would get rolled by Notre Dame. Florida State would get rolled by Missouri, Ole Miss. I can run down here. I'll put the teams up. Teams that I personally would bet my money on over Florida State right now without Jordan Travis. Georgia, Ohio State, Oregon, Missouri, Penn State, Ole Miss, Oklahoma, LSU, and that's where I'll stop. Okay. I will take 5 through 13 and put my hard-earned money over them beating that Florida State team, okay? And that's what most of the committee thought, and that's why they are sitting at home.
See, I get that, and I truly believe that you believe that. However, if we're talking, all those teams would whoop them. Let's not forget, before a rivalry game against Kentucky, Louisville was top 10 in the nation. And that was a close game that almost went to overtime. So while we're saying, Louisville's not that good of a team, they were top 10 in the nation. They dropped down to the 15th because they had 2 straight losses, one to Kentucky, one to Florida State. Then, before that, they played Florida, which...
Hold on. Just Louisville. I'm just going to address Louisville. But like I said, regardless, no one would take Louisville against any of those top teams. None of us thought they were that good.
But hold on. But I feel like I've said this before, that I feel like we were not giving Louisville enough credit. I've said that basically the whole season. So then let's go to the game before. Florida, obviously not that good this year, but you're in the swamp in a rivalry game against a team that we have said all year that at any given moment's notice could put up a good game, because that's just what Florida does, right? Then let's go back 1 week before.
That's not why they struggled with Florida.
Hold on. Let's give 1 week before that. South Alabama, shitty team. However, you just lost your quarterback at the end of the first quarter. You are shell-shocked, right? In those 3 games, 11 quarters, they gave up 21 total points. 0 to North Alabama, 6 to Louisville and 15 to Florida. So I get that the offense might not be there right now. I think if you gave them a month, I think they could come up with a pretty decent strategy on how the offense would work. But that defense alone, I think, is good enough to contend with any of those teams in the top 3. You, I think, disagree with me, but I think they do.
No, I think, but we have to nitpick. Okay?
Then nitpick a loss. Nitpick a loss.
That's
the thing. That's the main thing you look for.
But here is the thing: you nitpick a loss when Florida State is either fully healthy,
one has 0 or one has 1.
But being healthy is a criteria. They X that box. All other
When has that been a criteria? When has being healthy been a criteria?
I don't listen.
Other than now.
But see, it always has been, but this has never come up. This is unprecedented too.
Ohio State lost 2 of their quarterbacks.
And look what they did. They won 59-0.
Like you said, against a garbage Big Ten conference that Wisconsin was not good.
There will be as many people with you that will argue with you that Wisconsin team was underrated. I told you that all year. They only had a couple losses. The same argument that you just gave for Louisville. There will be people who say that for Wisconsin. And Ohio State said, really? Watch me. Don't believe me, just watch. To quote the great urban poet, Bruno Mars. Okay? That's what Ohio State said. Okay? Because they had the greatest mercenary of all time at head coach in Urban Meyer. Okay? That's why Ohio State is in. Because they looked like the same damn team. Florida State looked like the complete opposite team. And you guys are like, but they have a 0. No, they would not. Okay, okay.
I agree with Mel. You're fired.
They admitted it on the show that there was more SEC. You had a plenty of ACC reps in there to get it done, and you had coaches and players. You have ex-coaches and players on that thing. Like, come on, guys. Like, that isn't just a bunch of dudes like me sitting around who played soccer their entire lives and just loves college football more than anything in the world, and is sitting around they didn't put their hand in the dirt. They got guys who put their hands in the dirt. Now, hold on. Here's where I do have some issues. Okay? The committee is not transparent enough. Okay?
Yeah, I agree with that.
I watch the entire show every week. I don't tune out after they give the top 6. I listen to that interview with the head chairman of the CFP. Mm-hmm. I've done it every year since they have done it. They duck questions every bleeping week because they just want the stuff on the field to take care of itself. We've had 2 times where the stuff on the field didn't take care of itself. That was when Ohio State got put in. Excuse me. That's when Ohio State got put in the first year when I didn't think they should have. And then there are people who say it was controversial when they got left out. I don't think it was left out. The Big Ten sucked. You lost. You were out. Okay? So you have 2 controversial decisions. That one and now this one. Okay? Straub Bro Sports Show got to take an L. We told you all year that this would take care of itself on the field. Well, the only thing that could have possibly made it chaotic happened. And that was Alabama and Texas won out, which none of us saw coming for a while ago. Okay? In Florida, and we had a catastrophic injury to one of the guys that made one of those teams legit. Okay?
Yeah.
He's still ducking questions. So here's what I mean by transparency. I want to know where the votes line up. Mm-hmm. When they release the Heisman vote, which we will talk about next segment.
It's all there.
We know first, second, thirds, fourths, nothing. We know. I want to see every week where your breakdown in votes came from. Mm-hmm. Okay? If you thought Texas, I think it should have been 2. I think it should have been Michigan, Washington, separated away from everyone else. Okay? 2 not just undefeated teams, undefeated in a Power 5 conference in which it's a strong conference. Okay? Yes. Okay? Remember, we're having to nitpick. Strong conference, team intact. If you don't like that it's part of the criteria, ladies and gentlemen, have it taken out. But it's there. So stop being mad that it would get used. Well, it never gets used before. If it doesn't have to get used, It's not going to come into play. We have not had a situation where a top team rolled into their game, not only losing a player, but losing a player and looking like garbage. If Ohio State went into the Big Ten championship game and won 3-0 or 6-0 or 10-0, the committee would have been like, shit, we're in trouble. Now, I also don't know when this rule was put in. I don't care. I don't care if it was put in 20 minutes before they walked into the room. It's one of their criteria, ladies and gentlemen. It's not a beauty contest. Then go back to the damn computers. However, I want to talk about those computers real quick. Yeah, I'm so done with that. What? Sorry, go ahead.
I'd be okay with it. I said no, I was gonna say I'd be okay with that. But I would say
then I'm gonna go off on the computers for a second.
No, I get you. To fix all of this, I think you have to I think the 12 that we're going to, I think is too much, but I think that's a conversation for another day.
Well, we're gonna talk about it. 12 is ridiculous. We would have hold on real quick. If we went to a 12-team playoffs, ladies and gentlemen, Oklahoma, get out of here. No, we're going to 12 next year.
Oh, yeah.
Oklahoma, get out of here. Ole Miss, great offense. 2 losses to Georgia and Alabama. Get the hell out of here. Penn State, get the hell out of my playoffs. Missouri, I'm okay with actually because I think Missouri's a decent team. However, get out of here. Oregon, they lost 2 games to a team that is in the top 4. Argument there. I gave you the arguments for Georgia, Ohio State, and Florida. So wait a minute. Basically, we put the cutoff right at Oregon. 8. How about that? 8 teams. That was all you needed. Go ahead.
Yeah. So basically, I think to stop all of this basically nonsense, right? You want to have, I think you should. So the Pac-2 at this point is done. You're not a Power 5 conference anymore. It's going to Power 4. It's Big 12. It's ACC. It's SEC. It's Big 10. Give me my conference champion from each conference of those 4.
Yeah.
Give me a at-large team, your best at-large team, and give me your best group of 5 team. And that give me 6. Your top 2 go and have a bye. Your 2 and 2 play each other.
You said give me my 5 conference champs.
4, because Pac-2 isn't a Power 5 anymore. So 4.
Give me my 4 conference champs.
Best group of 5.
Okay.
And an at-large team.
And you're
you, Oregon, maybe in this scenario, whatever. And that's it. That's all you need. Because we're not debating if they're the best 4 teams when there's 5 power conferences. We're debating if you're a top 6 team when there are 4 power conferences. And that makes it so much easier to explain. You weren't a conference champion and you 8 or 6, because then you aren't a conference champion and you don't have an impressive enough wins to make it in.
Oh, sorry. Wrong graphic.
And then we don't have this. We don't have this anymore.
But see, here's my problem, because the criticism that I lobbied about them not being transparent, I absolutely 100% agreed with Paul Feinbaum. So as all of you get on Paul Feinbaum and yell at him, he's also the one who said this committee is not transparent enough. Here's my thing. I also agree with a conspiracy theory. Okay, here's your other conspiracy theories. I'm gonna address a couple of these, okay? Because I'm gonna make fun of some of my friends as well. I got one group of friends that said, well, they were gonna do anything to screw Michigan because the committee hates Michigan.
No,
the NCAA hates Michigan. The committee doesn't work for the NCAA. The committee works for the teams, because the teams are ready to break away. Right. Okay. They work for ESPN. Yes. So get out of here with that. Well, they had to have an SEC team in. Oh, let's see. In the top 25, that would be Alabama, Georgia, Missouri, Ole Miss, LSU, Tennessee. That's 6 teams in the top 25. Okay? That's 5 in the top 13. Okay? Get the bleep out of here. They're they are the best conference still, ladies and gentlemen. Get over it. Okay? Period. What does the Big Ten have? The Big Ten has Ohio State and Michigan. The Big Ten's got 2 big dogs. Okay? But that's it. Okay? The Pac-12. Okay? Washington, Oregon. Okay?
Arizona.
Okay? I don't care about what anybody says. Neutral site, full team, USC can play with any team on this list and beat majority of them.
Utah as well, honestly.
Utah as well. The ACC. Yeah, that's
Florida
the exact.
State,
Yeah.
Louisville.
Who? Louisville?
NC State.
NC State?
Clemson.
Now. But I'm just okay. But that's a 4-loss Clemson team is the best team that you brought out of that. Because NC State is super limited on offense. They remind me of Iowa. Okay. And Louisville is what Louisville is. We know unless they're playing and they're going to get up for a Notre Dame game, they ain't coming. Okay. So I'm sorry. Once again, you don't have this dominance.
I get you. Honestly, I think we agree to disagree here. I still think they should go in, but
I'm also going to I went on my tangent. I forgot my main point there. I agree with this. I agree that when the committee went in and they ranked their teams, that they put Michigan, Washington, and Texas. Okay. I believe they put Alabama right in at 4.
Oh, yeah.
And I think they put Georgia in at 5. And I think they dropped Florida State all the way to 6. Not
possible.
Okay, because Georgia was their unequivocal number 1 team in the country. Okay, and they lost 1 game. Okay, so they were only going to fall so far. But then I think when they stepped back and everybody looked at that board, they went, oh, everyone is going to lose their mind if we have dropped FSU all the way down to 6th. Okay. So what did they do? They go, okay, well, we'll move them up to 5. So they're the first team left out, and everyone will understand, just like when we put Ohio State in, when they looked the same, when they were winning and they lost their quarterback, FSU looks completely opposite and don't look good. Alabama's the hottest team in the country that nobody wants to play. Texas is a hot team that nobody wants to play. Everyone will understand because when FSU inevitably gets the doors blown off of them in one of these semifinal games, everyone in the country would have gone, oh my God, you should have put it in Alabama. Alabama would have made it a more competitive game. FSU lost their quarterback. Everybody knew Florida State was, and that's why the College Football Playoff Committee was your honorary Straub Bro of the Week for having the cojones to make the right decision.
Thank God I wasn't preparing for this show. We would have had some words.
Absolutely. But you're sticking around now. You're trapped.
Great.
Ladies and gentlemen. Maybe. The Heisman Trophy finalists have been selected. They are as follows. Jaden Daniels, quarterback, LSU, 3,800 passing yards. I wish he had 38,000 passing yards. 3,800 passing yards. 40 passing touchdowns, 4 interceptions. Over 1,000 rushing yards as well. 10 rushing touchdowns. The nation's top QBR and a 72.2 completion percentage. Michael Penix Jr., quarterback, Washington, 4,200 passing yards, first in the nation, 36 total touchdowns, 9 interceptions, an 83.4 QBR, 10th in the nation. Michael Penix Jr., an undefeated 13-0 season, number 3 team in the college football playoffs. Bo Nix, quarterback of Oregon, 4,100 yards, 46 total touchdowns, 3 interceptions, 91 QBR, second overall, and a good one for Bo, a 77.2 completion percentage, second best all time in a year. Right. He completed 70% of his passes. That is ridiculous. And our non-quarterback, Marvin Harrison Jr., Maserati Marv.
Gus Johnson, best commentator in all of college sports. I'm sorry. I know you don't like him as much. Best commentator in all of sports. That man is electric.
And I made fun of this last week. I am a man who gets hyped because Herb Street will tell you that Michigan's going to play good because they're wearing Mace pants and Notre Dame's coming out with a green jersey. So it's going to be a better game. But like, for some reason, I think Gus is just so over the top in the way that I'm over the top that I think when I meet there, I go, all right, I've got to come down a couple levels.
Yeah.
This is ridiculous.
It's
But
so good.
Get back to that. Maserati Marvin Harrison Jr. I need to bring, and I apologize for that, I need to bring the scroll down because I can't read my own stats. And that would be 67 receptions, 1,200 yards receiving, 15 total touchdowns. There was one rushing touchdown in there, 18 yards per catch, 8 100-yard receiving games. I'm going to be honest with you. I put these in order that they were listed. I think this is the order in which they will finish. I think this is the betting order. I think this is all of this. Trust me, if I could lock this into a parlay, I would. I tried. I looked. I think this is Jane. Oh, here. First of all, I haven't been able to do this other than when we were arguing. Little bro, what do you think? Take a drive.
Oh, listen, I think it was really close going into this final week because Jaden Daniels did not have, anything to play for. He was sitting at home while you had Washington and Oregon, Penix and Bo Nix going at each other. And so you're like, can one quarterback stand out and take the game, but also take the Heisman into their own hands? And the fact that they didn't, that they both played decent enough games, really proves that I think Jaden Daniels just had that caliber season where he just proved that he had the Lamar Jackson season where literally he did everything that he could possibly do. And honestly, it was not on him that they lost those amount of games. Same with Louisville with Lamar Jackson. Lamar Jackson did everything he could. They still lost like 2 or 3 games a year because the defense couldn't help him or the receivers or the running game wasn't helping him. And I think that's why Jaden Daniels deserves this. Not because he has better stats, which for a majority of it he does, but of how dominant he was and how important and impactful he was for his team.
Okay, listen, man. Game just got tied. A FIFA just got tied. You got me leaning up in the chair, big guy. Love having you back, man. Love having you back. So remind me to go back to your Lamar Jackson point, but the one you just said in terms of stats. But let's break down some of these stats. Yes, Bo Nix technically leads the nation in completion percentage. He's about to set a record. Okay, you're allowed to finish second when the guy above you breaks a record. Okay, so he's second. Bo's at 77. Jaden Daniels 72%. That is a lot of passes completed. Okay,
still that's nothing to look at, like shake on it.
First in QBR. Okay. So your ESPN, your cooked up ranking of a total quarterback, okay, which I think it's great to throw in. QBR does not include drops, okay, as does not take drops in consideration as a thing that would help a quarterback. So they all count the same, okay. He's number 1, okay. Yes, does he lead the league the nation in passing? No.
Total,
dude, he's 400 yards away. Like,
and
he's
then
not
look at the rushing yards.
And guess what? And hold on. And guess what Michael Penix Jr. got to do this week? Play an extra game. You telling me that Jaden Daniels couldn't put up 400 yards in a game? Yeah, he's done it. Touchdowns. There's a reason if you and listen, I tried to be very fair to everyone on this board. I mean, that's why I put up that Marvin Harrison Jr. had 8 100-yard games. Okay, it was a decent stat to put up for a wide receiver. There's a reason Jaden Daniels is the only quarterback up there with rushing stats, because all of those other 2 guys, Michael Penix Jr. does not run. Bo Nix does, but he gets sacked a lot as well. His rushing yards are not that great. The dude rushed for a decent year as a running back as well. Also almost led the league or the nation. I almost called it the league. Almost led the nation in passing. Also, while being the nation's leader in touchdowns, and his touchdowns outranks almost half of the country himself.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. I love Michael Penix Jr. I like Bo Nix. I have given more love to Marvin Harrison Jr. than anybody in the damn country that's not its father and family and actual people who work for the Buckeyes. This is Jaden Daniels' award. This is why we have the award.
Yeah, I completely agree. I think Jaden Daniels by far, and I think it's pretty clear at this point. Marvin Harrison Jr., amazing receiver. I think he's going to be a stud in the NFL. Like wide receiver 1. I don't think he had one. you have these quarterbacks putting up insane numbers for one, and it's always a quarterback award. But two, you didn't have a absolute dominant season as a wide receiver to have, all to get higher up on that list. Because when Devontae Smith won it, he was by far and clear the best wide receiver in college football. And so Marvin Harrison Jr., the best wide receiver in college football, by far, I don't think so.
We know the talent is there. We know the talent is there, but it's not separated enough. It also helped that Bama was going through a little quarterback back and forth, because had one of those dudes just set themselves in and played like they had played mostly, I'm talking about Hurts and Tua.
Oh, yeah.
Or, you know what I mean? If one of those two were playing, so.
No, yeah. And hey, listen, also, if Milroe had played the front half like he did the back half, we might be talking a completely different story, but that's neither here nor there.
Jalen Monroe gets the Heisman we don't have enough games yet award, because
the second half Heisman, because holy God, that dude was insane. Once he realized he could run and actually get out of the pocket and scramble, he was insane. He just was for some reason stuck in the pocket the first half of the year.
And here's the other thing, because everybody will then go, but look at what Auburn did. Yes, Auburn towards the end of the game tried to box him in, put the spy in, and all of a sudden his lanes were gone. And then he still ran for that amazing first down and dropped the diamond on your defense, which I don't want to hear about no push-offs. It was all over the place. Then Georgia came in with one of the smartest defensive coaches that there is and said, we're going to box you in and take this out. And Jalen Monroe said, no, you won't. I'll still make it happen, and I'll make the most important plays down the stretch, because it was his legs who got those two first downs down the stretch that gave Alabama that lead. Now, just so everyone is aware, we are not talking Alabama and Michigan, and we are not talking Washington and Texas right now. We have a month, everybody. So whoa. We don't need to oversaturate you with wasted takes. We're going to hang on there. Now, we are going to touch on every single bowl game. We will touch every single bowl game, even the Champs Cheez-It Gatorade, your mom's spaghetti bowl. We will touch them all. It does not matter. Okay. Even the Straub Bro Sports Show Bowl. Yeah. No, not yet. Oh, one day. That actually sounds good. The Straub Bro Sports Show Bowl. All right. Hey, bro. I know it's been a long week. Okay. But I'm going to drag you outside and take you on a little ride. However, we're just going around the block, because it's only one game and you don't need any stats. Okay. Because you showing up is throwing the entire soccer thing out. So just so everybody's aware, there was 2 weeks, because they're called match days, but there were 2 fixtures of games, 2 sets of fixtures of games. So there was a Premier League review, there was a Premier League review again, and a Premier League preview. But we're going to kind of condense that real quick. I'm going to run through some stuff. Little bro is putting his hands up on his head right now, because he ducked out and scheduled his last final on the same day that was Manchester United versus Chelsea, and he so wishes that he did not jump in here to have to talk about that. I will grant you, right before we start talking about that and I start running through, I will allow you to go get a beer, just so you are aware, so you can go get a beer so you can talk about United and Chelsea. But you got to be here for this. I hope you have been reading the scroll. I don't know if you have, bro. Have you?
Not particularly. I've been getting angry. I'm sorry. I was getting angry. I wasn't paying attention. My eyes got blurry.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to take a ride around the country this week to talk about the game of all games. Okay. I have said this many times on the pod. You read the scroll while I'm talking to the people, Drew. Your message is in there as well. I've said this many times. Drew's agreed with me. And you're going to see it in the preview. This is my favorite game all year. This is my favorite game to watch. It's going to be my favorite game to preview. It is an amazing, amazing, amazing game. And that would be, and I'm going to ruin it because he's getting to his message before. Here, come on, the other shout out. I know this is riveting. There it is. We are going to talk about the 124th playing
of
the game of all games, the Army-Navy game.
Let's go.
I'm not joking, and I just got goosebumps just saying Army Navy game. I don't care how corny that is to you. This is my favorite game. I've said it all year. The Army Black Knights versus the Navy Midshipmen. I have yet to see the uniforms. I'm assuming they're epic because they're always epic. Oh wait, no, I did. That was the ship. There's a battleship on the Navy helmet. Look up for me real quick what Army's theme is this year because
Gotcha.
okay. And go get your beer for United Chelsea if you would like to, but stay for the Army Navy.
I'm all right.
The first meeting of Army and Navy was back in 1890. Navy leads all time 65, 54, and 7. Army is coming off a thrilling 20-17 double overtime win. Yes, points will be at a minimum here, but greatness will not. Little bro will back me up here. This is the most intense, hard-hitting game that you will watch the entire year or your entire life. Okay.
Yeah.
The Army Navy game is a harder hitting game than some pro games. I'm not joking with you. It means a lot. Okay. But it isn't just football. It is the pageantry of this game as well. Whoever the president of the United States is, whoever it might be, I do not care what you think of what any of them are. I'm just letting all of you know now before somebody says, well, what about this guy? What about the last guy? What about the guy before him? The guy before that? The guy before that? I don't care. It's not what we're talking about. Whoever the United States president is will go and give a speech. We'll talk to both teams. They'll be on the field. The cadets and the midshipmen will march on the field. There's something called the prisoner exchange, in which cadets who are spending their semester studying at the sister academy will be exchanged, where they're then allowed to enjoy the game with their comrades. Both teams sing each other's alma mater, which is a very rare occurrence in college football. I personally, the only one of the ones that read you loud and clear. One of the big things that I know is that Notre Dame and Navy do this. Notre Dame and Navy sing each other's alma mater, and it's reserved for whoever sings last is whoever won. That is the biggest thing of all here. Both teams sing each other's alma mater, and if you win, you get to go last, and everyone wants to go last. On the field, throw the 5 and 6 records out, don't care. Okay, but let's look at a couple stats. Navy has played 4 quarterbacks this year, altogether 9 passing touchdowns, 5 rushing. I mean, this is Navy here. Yes, they average 18. They give up 23. This is Army Navy. None of this matters. However, the midshipmen average 200 yards on the ground. Okay, they have big wins over UAB, and they played an Air Force team when they were good. They were ranked, and they were rolling, and they played them very, very well. Army. Full disclosure, we're go Army, be Navy in this house. Shout out to our Uncle Kurt, retired from the Army. I was trying to list through all of his accolades and things I could throw out, but I don't even think he would like that. But we love you, Uncle Kurt. You brought us into this, so you're the reason we are go Army. Speaking of, Army comes in scoring 21, giving up 22, a little closer than Navy, don't care. 200 yards on the ground, 19 rushing touchdowns. Junior Bryson Daly is the Swiss Army knife for Army. I know I'm going to get hammered by anyone in the military for doing that, but it was too funny. 859 yards passing, 6 passing touchdowns, 7 rushing touchdowns. There is your Army offense right there. Army with an upset of Air Force. And can take the all-coveted Commander-in-Chief trophy with a win. A Navy win would create a 2-way tie, 3-way something. It gets complicated, okay? I told you about our personal connection for the game, so full bias here, okay? I love this game so much, but I absolutely root for Army. I'm never mad when Navy wins because I obviously did not serve, so our rooting is through connected, but we're always rooting for Army. I think Army wins. I'm biased. However, give me that Army 2.5. Unbiased, the over-under's 28.5. Yes, I'm talking over-unders on the Army-Navy game, baby. This is all I got. I mean,
look at that gambling number.
1-800-GAMBLER. I already know it. I mean, 28.5. I mean, 14, 15 games, 17, 14. Give me the over on the Army Navy game. All right.
Oh, God.
You know what? This is what we're going to do, ladies and gentlemen. Put that down. This is going to be a very quick review. Let's touch on last weekend's game. That would be in the EPL. Brentford 3, Luton Town 1. Arsenal would jump back to the top of the Premier League with a 2-1 victory over Wolves. Burnley would hammer Sheffield United in the battle of the bottoms with a first minute, 29th minute, 73rd minute, 75th minute, and 80-minute goal to bury Sheffield United 5-0. Everton would get back on track, trying to get out of the relegation zone with a 1-0 win over Nottingham Forest. Everton are now 18th, 2 points off of 17th in safety of Luton Town, which is also where Burnley sit, 2 points away. Ali McBurney of Sheffield United was sent off, which means not a great day for 2 of the 3 of our Ali's. Touchdown goal from last week's Straub Bro of the week, with Ali Gordon also having a not great day for Oklahoma State. Newcastle 1, Manchester United 0. Moving on. No, not just moving on. Newcastle dominated this game, and Manchester United looked like absolute dog shit. Chelsea 3, Brighton 2. Shout out to you, Mr. Enzo Fernandez, getting 2. Conor Gallagher would be sent off, so that was not great for you, but all 3 points for you. West Ham and Palace would draw 1-1. Bournemouth and Aston Villa would draw as well, 2-2. Dominic Solanke would give Bournemouth the lead in the 57th minute before Ollie Watkins, a 90th minute winner, saving the Straub Bro Sports Show curse of the honorary Straub Bro. All right, making sure that didn't happen. And Liverpool 4, Fulham 3, an absolutely phenomenal back and forth game. Go to, when you're on, because you're here on the YouTube page or you're potentially on the Facebook page, dip over to the YouTube page, go to the NBC Sports YouTube page and watch the highlights of this Liverpool Fulham game. It is absolutely amazing. Golazzos everywhere. A goal by Kenny Tate, bringing the glory to the name.
God.
Absolutely love it. Oh, yeah. Of all the goals for me to talk about, I talked about the little flick and tap in. But yeah, our other game, Manchester City 3, Tottenham 3, another great game and 6-goal affair. We always love when somebody takes points away from City. Big Ange ball. That's a big result there, bro, for Spurs. Yeah, I'm not going to talk too much on there. This week's games, like I said, these games that I just talked about were Saturday and Sunday. Literally starting Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, tomorrow, there have been games and are games. And then we have another set of fixtures coming this weekend. So yes, literally the Straub Bro Sports Show could have just been the Straub Bro Soccer Show this week. But somebody had to be graduating and take finals and shit. But it is what it is. So you have to leave soon. I may talk about some other games, but let's talk. Oh, we'll talk about it just 1 second. Yesterday's games. Wolves 1-0 over Burnley, and Arsenal would come back very late and win a very scrappy game against Luton Town 4-3. Here we go. One of the best things about when we started this show was we had looked back at our teams who have played each other. If you happen to read our scroll that we love to put down at the bottom, each of us enjoys each other's football teams losing. All of them, all of our football teams losing. I get a little chuckle when Cincinnati loses. I get a little chuckle when the Browns lose. He gets a chuckle when the Cowboys choke in the playoffs. He gets a chuckle when Notre Dame chokes. Okay, so we laugh at each other. We have some fun. We console each other when it's bad, but we have some fun. The only time we cry together is the United States men's national team or the Guardians. But this one is fun. Go ahead.
Shout out to the Guardians, got the number 1 overall draft pick in the draft.
Yes, and while you're there, while you're looking for that information, jump over to the Sports Minute and Rico will break that down for you. But this was a good one. The Brothers Derby, Manchester United and Chelsea. The scoreline that literally just ended a half hour to an hour ago. Chelsea won Manchester United 2. Yeah, I got you, baby. Sorry. That was the first real excitement yell I think I've ever let out on the pod like that. I got you. Okay. I should have thumped you 4-1. Okay. With a horrific missed penalty by Bruno Fernandes. He does this little jump hop step that I can't stand, but usually when he does it, he plants him into the corner. Upper 90s. This one was saved. A first half goal. United would jump out first behind a Scotty, the body, McTominay tap in. Chelsea would then tie it up. You did tie it up, but I was in the middle of getting ready for the pod, so I did not exactly see how you had tied it up. I just saw it, and then I saw celebration.
Yeah. It was right before halftime. Cole Palmer had gotten a pass at the edge of the box, turned, shot, beautiful place in the corner. Onana had no chance.
Onana could do nothing about it.
Against the run of play, I will say. While we looked kind of we tied it and we were there for a little bit, you had dominated this entire game. And the difference week to week between this team shows how young it is. You have some older guys that can sit down, can, get an average performance even at their worst moments. Today, we showed our youth, and we showed how just if we're not on possession and we're getting bodied, it's going to be a rough afternoon. That's exactly what happened.
Just for the record, I'm moving some stuff around, but this is what I keep as one of the holders of some of the, just so through and through, baby. Yeah, United, baby, getting it done. The winning goal coming through some run of play, couple rebounds in the box, and who's there to head it home for his double? Scotty, the body, McTominay, 2-1. United over Chelsea. I think the one thing, and I know we're both going to agree with this, this is the most obnoxious schedule placement of one of our games of all time, because literally you had Notre Dame and Cincinnati 2 years ago, a game that we would have loved to have been able to come in here and talk about. I would have let you just talk about that entire segment yourself. I would have left when Cincinnati upset Notre Dame in Notre Dame Stadium. But for us, this is it. United, Chelsea, every year, 2 fixtures at least. Sometimes you sprinkle in a Champions League final that I won, or some FA Cup finals and stuff like that.
How old was I when that actually happened? Don't even start.
I don't care. Okay.
What was six?
Shut up. My entire livelihood is hanging on to old glory. Okay. Notre Dame, the Cowboys, Manchester United, the Guardians. Okay. Leave me the hell alone. You got me all over the place now. But I'm mad you were in the middle of finals week. I'm in the middle of prepping a pod by myself and getting ready for the Aaron Garcia Arena League football legend interview tomorrow. So for us to not just, first of all, sit together and watch this game, which we love to stand agonizingly close but separated in front of the TV and awkwardly slay and yell at our teams and turn and yell away, but and fist pump when something equally good happens. I could barely watch this game and had time. I missed the last 15 minutes of it. I was expecting you to roll in here with a jersey on telling me you scored too late to come back and win. So horrible placement on our favorite game on the schedule, but that's only our first, right? That was our first meeting. Right?
Yeah, I think our next one's in I think it's one of the last games of the season. So that'll be interesting.
We'll do a full. We actually, depending on the game and where you are, maybe we might do a live watch along on that one as well. That's a fun thing to do. So, hey, Drew, I kind of need your help. I'm going to throw something up. It's yours, so you're going to do it. Ladies and gentlemen, Americans abroad, he's back.
I'm so excited. I am so ready to do this.
Come and get it.
Yes. Okay. Now, if he hasn't told you the past 2 weeks, while he has been giving it, he has been telling you this information. I have been the one supplying him with this information.
Oh, I 100% told everybody that you supplied, and you took care of that for me.
Good. Okay. Well, now you can get it from the source. You don't have to hear it from a secondary source here. I am back. Let's roll right into it. First one, and the most important one, Captain America, Christian Pulisic, scoring for AC Milan in a 3-1 win. And also an absolute beautiful touch, by the way. For those that have watched the U.S., if you watch the friendly against Morocco right before the World Cup, which we attended, by the way, that ball over the top to Christian Pulisic where he just lets it just tap his foot and just keep rolling right next to him. It's exactly like that. Absolute beautiful touch, gets in the box, beautiful finish. He keeps rolling after coming back from injury, doing great. Absolute beautiful. Next one, another familiar face, Anthony Robinson, another assist. And he becomes the first American to get an assist in 3 straight games in the Premier League, ever. So this man is on a roll. I think, honestly, it has to do with him dyeing his hair. I think blonde Anthony Robinson will be a player the streets will never forget because this man is on fire right now.
And
Doing
left, right, left, right.
Exactly. Next one. Not a goal, not an assist, but a man of the match performance in the Premier League. Chris Richards in a 1-1 draw. Absolute great performance. I didn't get to watch the game. Fatmob said he was playing as a midfielder. I don't know if that's in an attacking sense and then defending. Maybe he dropped back to more defending role. But either way, great performance. Maybe as long as that gets him minutes, that's all that matters.
Mama, I know him a trip. She texted me on the side. Mama, I know him a trip. Go ahead.
Great performance there. Out of the Premier League, though, let's roll it over to the Bundesliga in Germany. Leonard Maloney, most recent U.S. Guy who had come into the U.S. And transferred over, an assist in Heidenheim's 2-1 loss, but still a good performance regardless. Staying in Germany, but moving a division lower, we have our old friend, Mr. Still playing, even though I'm pretty sure he doesn't. He has to use an AARP card. Julian Green, another goal, converts a penalty in their only goal in a win in the second league of Bundesliga.
Don't you, first of all, stop. Don't you dare make fun of us old people, okay? We're talking about Julian Green.
Doing great. Going over to another second division in Italy, a team that we talk about constantly. Gianluca Busio. This man's one of his favorite players going on right now. An assist and a great performance alongside Tanner Tessman. As both Americans play well, they win 3-1, and they're at the top of the second division, looking to go back up in Italy to the first division.
Busio! And here, I'm just gonna bring him forward because I cannot step over the courts. I cannot keep him out of the shot. So he's just gonna continue to go until he gets in here anyways. Now listen, you are live and you are on the mic, so you gotta wait a second before you start talking, okay? Okay. Now I say hi, Uncle Drew. I know.
Hi.
There you go. Now,
and finally, the last guy we have hasn't played for the U.S. in a while, but doing good. Mark McKenzie, a defender, so not a lot of action usually on the ball. An assist in games 2-2 draw, playing absolutely great. We have a lot of guys playing pretty well, and I'm really excited. We don't have a good U.S. match for a while. I think the next international window is in March. We will get some games in January, but those will be guys that are mostly U.S. based. We'll cover it at some point. We'll make sure that we get you covered there. But seeing these guys play well for their club while they're away is just as good as seeing them play here, because that gets you just really excited to make sure when they actually do come back to the U.S. So I am beyond excited to see these guys living up, especially Captain America.
Sorry, I had to mute the mic. Yes, absolutely. This has been a great week for our Americans. You are all over the place today, mister. Okay, we're going to take that down because we are here towards the end. So there are some big games coming up in the EPL this week. I am not going to preview them. We've gone almost 2 hours. Little Bro came in here. We gave you the best top 6 discussion that's going on or that's been had. So make sure you rerun that if you came in late for it. The 216 Sports Network. Check us out on Facebook. Check us out on Check us out on YouTube as well. The 500th episode of the Sports Minute, you will find it there as I'm wrestling an alligator trying to get through these last reads. You will find out the 500th episode of the Sports Minute. I'm there. Check it out. It was great. Like I just told you, the crunch time, that first episode is coming very soon. We are going to clean that up and finish that next week and doing some editing, but that's coming soon. Also, like I said, the wrestling pod name has been cleared. We're going with that. That will be coming soon as well. Me and Mel will be interviewing Arena League legend Aaron Garcia, live at 5 p.m. tomorrow, live on the 216 Sports Network, Facebook, and YouTube page. While you're at the 216 Sports Network YouTube page, scroll over, hit playlist. You'll see us there. Straub Bro Sports Show. Check out all 10 episodes. Yes, we're up to 10 now, bro. Glad that you came in for this one. 10th episode. So next week, Little Bro will be back. Absolutely. Sit up, please. Little Bro will be back. We will be driving. We'll have a full show. We're going to start driving towards the CFP playoffs. We're going to talk some We're going to dap up some Heisman winners. We're going to preview some bowl games. Okay, hang on a sec, please. Drew, I'm glad you're done with finals. Great job. Absolutely. Love you. Hope you kicked its butt. I already know that you did. I have got a wild man here. Ladies and gentlemen, it has been my pleasure to roll the Straub Bro Sports Show by myself and have Little Bro come back in halfway through. So, you silly goose. We make it a family affair. I couldn't make it any more family affair this week. But for that guy right there, Andrew Straub. Stop. For that guy right there, Andrew Straub. For me, Ken Straub. We are the Straub Bro Sports Show. That's Landon Straub. Landon, what do we tell him at the end of the pod? Love yours.
City.